Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and today we're going to be looking at the changes coming to all the jobs in Final Fantasy XIV in PvP. Now, normally this isn't something that I would cover on the channel because, well, I mean, I don't really know much about the PvP. You know, I haven't played it that much in the past several years, not really since Stormblood. But this is a massive patch for PvP. All the jobs have some degree of a rework. All of them have personal limit breaks. Obviously, we have all the changes coming to Crystal Conflict, series seasons. So I think it's worth giving it some attention, a little bit. So we're going to quickly look through all the jobs. I mean, by quickly, this will probably be like a 40-minute video knowing the way I go through things. And just kind of read the abilities. I'm not really concerned about how they were before, but I'll probably skim through and miss a few things. So the limit breaks are the things I'm most interested in actually seeing. So I'll start with the tanks. Start with Paladin here. Now, if you've never looked at a PvP action before, don't be scared by this. PvP actions are very one-to-one in their potency versus the damage that they are intended to deal interactions. So with no defensive buffs or anything of that capacity, these attacks deal 3,000 damage, 4,000 damage, 5,000 damage, etc., etc. So this don't get too concerned over the big potency numbers with this one. So their first combo here, you know, Fast Blade, Riot Blade, Royal Authority. Royal Authority grants Sword Oath, you know, nothing fancy there. That's a pretty normal interaction. Confiteor, successfully landing, afflicts target with Sacred Claim, restores HP when successfully landing an attack on targets under this effect. I'm going to assume that only works on the Paladin. It'd be nice if it worked on everybody, though, because that's pretty neat. So you want to definitely continue hitting any Confiteor to targets. And also, you know, only a 20-second recast because of how quick the PvP skills come back. Shield Bash, stunning for 3 seconds. Oh, it also grants a stack of Sword Oath. So if you spam stun, you actually get Sword Oath. That's pretty neat. I like it. Intervene, that's just their gap closer, but it does have a stun in PvP, and they do also get, so they get Sword Oath from a lot of things in PvP, is a big takeaway here. Guardian, rush to a party member's side and take all damage intended for them. That's a big PvP skill, so make sure you're using that correctly on anyone who's being focus targeted who doesn't have their 90% damage reduction. Holy Sheltron creates a barrier around self. Okay, so it goes with the straight up damage reduction here for 5 seconds for about 12,000 damage. Barrier is not absorbed, and the effect duration expires, then you deal damage to all nearby enemies to a potency of 2,000 plus 50%. It's pretty nice. Kind of sucks that the barrier has to not be absorbed. If the barrier is not absorbed and the duration expires, okay. Reduces damage taken by 10% also. Additional effect, heavy plus 75%. So you put that on yourself. Okay, so it makes you a walking tank, I suppose. So that's a thing. Atonement heals, does some potency damage. Okay. Blade of Faith, potency target all nearby by it. Potency is increased by 50% when under the effect of Sacred Claim. Okay, so that ties in a lot more with Confiteor. You don't just get the healing. These skills also get some bonus effects when attacking something under Sacred Claim. They get more potency, and of course, and it also afflicts Sacred Claim. So all of the combo basically ensures that the combo itself can, if you were to change target in the middle of the combo, you can reapply Sacred Claim for the next hits. And then, you know, that's nice. You know, I got no problem with that. Wonder if it means if you hit all 5 opponents, if you would get healing off all 5 opponents. You probably would. And then these are all the same. They're just more damage, you know. So nothing there. Then the limit break. So this is actually the thing I'm most curious about because every job has their own limit break. And so we have to read every single one. We can't just be like, oh, this is the tank limit break. No. Every job has its own limit break for PvP. So the limit break is Hallowed Ground to yourself and Phalanx to nearby opponents. So you're invincible for 10 seconds expected. Phalanx to your party members is 50% reduced damage. And it also grants Blade of Faith ready. So you instantly get access to the end of your Confiteor combo. So that's kind of nice. The last part feels a little tacked on. But, I mean, this alone is something you'd expect a tank to do and is also incredibly strong. Now, while we're on the tank page, or I guess while we're on the first PvP page, we only have to look at the common actions a single time because these are issued to all jobs as far as I know. So we only have to read these once. So the standard issue Elixir, 4.5 second cast time, just restores HP and MP to maximum. Use that when you get away from opponents. If you can get away and not get attacked, then you can just fully heal and fully restore. Recuperate is 2,500 MP. MP is only used on Recuperate in PvP now. And it heals you for 15,000. That's it. Nice and simple. So you spam that whenever you're being focused or you just want to heal up with the MP that you have. Purify removes all of your status effects, and it grants resilience, which nullifies afflictions that can be removed by Purify for 5 seconds after, so you can't be immediately re-afflicted. That's expected. Guard reduces damage taken by 90% and grants Purify. I can't help but notice. It just doesn't also grant you resilience afterwards. Your movement speed is reduced during that, though. So you have 2 different ways to nullify a bunch of status effects. One of them just lasts an extra 5 seconds, and one of them is more about the damage reduction aspect. And then Sprint. Increase movement speed effect ends upon reuse. So, or execution of another action. Okay, cool. So we only have to read that one time, because that's going to be the same for every job. Now we go to the Warrior PvP actions. There we go. Heavy Swing, Maim, we expect those to be the same. And then Storm's Path absorbs 100% of damage dealt as HP. Okay, it's pretty similar to its PvE effect. Primal Rend is still a jump attack. With Inner Release, it does more. It does also stun in PvP, which is pretty dope. That would be frightening to see. Onslaught rushes the target, delivers a potency of 400 up to 4,000 as HP nears maximum. So Onslaught's better the higher your HP is as a warrior. Consumes 10% of current HP when executed. Okay, but also increases the damage. Wow, that's like... It's like 5 effects on that thing. It's told pretty succinctly at the very least. But yeah, having that focus on this target for the next 10 seconds at the cost of 10% of my HP is pretty good. Especially if they're at max HP and it does all 4,000 damage. Orogeny is AoE and kind of just does the same thing but hits AoE. So if everybody's stunned together, you can Orogeny and apply everything all at once. So that gives it some pretty good usability. Bloata. Oh, is this where we talk? Okay, no, different type of bloat. Okay, different. It's the opposite of what PvP has. They don't have any button bloata. Instantly draws target to your side. It's kind of like a home gang, because home gang, that was the main thing it did, is it chained them and pulled them towards. But this is something. It's literally just the chain part that pulls them towards. It also applies heavy for 75 seconds. So that's nice. Unless that means you get the heavy for 75 seconds. Maybe it does, but I don't know. That would be kind of dumb. Bloodwetting, 100% of damage dealt into HP, barrier around self. I mean, pretty close to PvE. Bloodwetting changes to Chaotic Cyclone when you're under Nascent Chaos, though. So, that's that's interesting that it instantly ties to Chaotic Cyclone. So not entirely like PvE. Fell Cleave, big damage, Chaotic Cyclone, big damage on all nearby enemies, but under Inner Release does double the potency. So where was Inner Release on this? What grants Inner? Is that what that grants? Changes to Chaotic Cyclone. Inner Release, I wonder if it's just trait, because I didn't see even the word Inner Release mentioned here. Inner Release. All right, scroll down. Why is it acting? There it goes. Only be executed under the effective. Oh, there it was. I saw it. Yeah. No, that's Inner Release potency. Okay. Oh, well, I guess if I had kept scrolling down, I would have found it. Because I was like, where is Inner Release? It's their freaking limit break. It lets out a blood-curdling cry, rendering enemies unable to use guard. Okay, I see you, warrior. Also grants them Inner Release and Thrill of Battle. Inner Release increases movement speed, makes them immune to all the status effects for 15 seconds. You cannot execute the action of guard. Nobody can. You and nobody else can. Increases max HP and restores the amount. And then all of these abilities also get, and everything up here gets stronger with it. And then you can use Fell Cleave. Oh. All right, warrior. All right, I like it. Yeah, he's gonna delete some people here. Heck yeah. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm excited. Let's go through the rest of these. Dark Knight converts HP, into damage. Soul Eater, it's expected. Quietus absorbs damage dealt as HP also. Man, that must really hurt PvE players to see that Quietus has this. I know with the Living Dead changes that just happened, that maybe not so much. But seeing Quietus have this when you're thinking about every dungeon you've ever run as a PvE player in this game, that must really hurt a little bit. At least a little bit. Shadowbringer, consume 20% of your max HP when executed, grants Black Blood. Okay, so Black Blood's used for something else because it doesn't say anything else after that. Plunge. Additional effect, Soul Survivor reduces target's HP recovered by 20%. If that target's KO'd before it expires, you get 20% of your max HP back. Yeah, I mean, Soul Survivor's an old school ability that they worked into PvP some time ago. So I was already kind of familiar with what it did. It's a little different than its old PvE version, but, it's still largely the same. Blackest Night, you yourself or an ally is shield, grants Dark Arts when the barrier is completely absorbed. Consume Dark Arts instead of HP to execute Shadowbringer. Okay, I like that. Salted Earth instantly draws nearby enemies, plural, to your side and creates a patch of Salted Earth dealing unaspected damage. I like it. I like it. Pull them in. Get some people to stun them and just let them sit in the Salted Earth. Additional effect gradually restores your HP and reduces damage taken by 20% while standing in it. That's just good in general, especially for something like, what's it called? Like Crystal Conflict, where it's, capturing the point. Being able to make a point of strength is really, really useful for something like that. Increases damage taken by enemies standing in the patch. Yeah, and if they try to stand in it, then they just get killed faster. So this is actually really, really good for Dark Knights. Blood Spiller delivers an attack with a potency of 4,000 up to 12,000 as HP decreases. So if you're below 20%. Oh, and then you can, this is what Black Blood is used on. That's kind of weird because it's reaching as HP decreases. I wonder if that means, I think that means opponents. I don't think that means you. So yeah, that makes sense. It's an execute, essentially. And then Salt and Darkness binds. Oh my lord. I didn't even think about that with Salt and Darkness. This looks really good. Dark Knight seems pretty easy to get the grasp of in PvP, thankfully. And then Evantide is their limit break. It's got a freaking bind. Yeah, Salted Earth just has a bind. Anyway, Evantide delivers an attack to all enemies in a straight line before you and behind you. Okay. Increases 20,000 as HP nears maximum, so you want to be near max HP. HP is reduced to 1 upon execution. Grant Undead Redemption. Attacks cannot reduce your HP to less than 1, and you absorb 100% of weapon skill damage dealt as HP. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, no, focus on me. It's fine. It's fine. Just focus me. It's great. Also does grant a Black Blood use. Okay. I like it. I like it. Definitely a little bit easier, but I still think Warrior takes the cake for me on tanks thus far. Let's see if Gunbreaker can change my mind. All right, basic combo, Solid Barrel, grants Powder Barrel. Nothing fancy here, so there's nothing to say. Brutal Shell doesn't have a shield, I notice, or healing on it in PvP. Gnashing Fang grants Ready to Rip, Double Down, 10,000 all nearby enemies. Does not share a weapon skill with any. Does not share a recast with any other actions. Okay, so it's a weapon skill, but it has a 20-second cooldown. That's fine. Continuation allows the firing of successive rounds. So yeah, this is largely the same. Nothing to say here. Rough Divide is a gap closer that grants no mercy for 7 seconds, has 2 charges with 15 seconds. Okay, so it's a little bit, so if you're going to gap close, you're going to do more damage at the same time. Draw Injunction. I remember they had something like Draw Injunction before. I don't really remember what the effect was. But you know what? I can tell you looking at this, it didn't do this. Grants yourself a beneficial effect based on the selected target. What is this, an Insect Glaive? If target is a DPS, grants Junction DPS, then Junction Tank, Junction Healer. And also grants a Powder Barrel. Junction Cast executes an action depending on your current junction. Oh, I see. So if you junction a DPS, you burst, and the other ones are for healing and protection. I like that. I like that little flexibility it has. Targeting in this game is not so great that I feel that good about it, but it shouldn't. If you can use it properly, it will be very, very nice. Burst Strike delivers an attack, grants Ready to Blast. That's normal. Savage Claw, Wicked Talon. These are all pretty normal, and it doesn't look like they gave them any additional effects of any kind. Hypervelocity gets a... Oh, okay, so Hypervelocity actually gets bonuses depending on what you have junction. So you wouldn't just want to do the cast. You will eventually, but you don't want to just do the cast. If you Hypervelocity with Junction Tank, you get a barrier. If you do Junction DPS, it doubles the potency, and Junction Healer restores own HP and HP of nearby allies. Okay. So once you get Ready to Blast from Burst Strike, Hypervelocity. I like that. I like that little combined... Like, there's just the job synergy there. Jugular Rip. Oh boy, so these are all the continuation skills. And looks like they grant barriers. And so they also all have junction bonuses. So all of your continuation combos have a junction bonus. And all of them are either increasing potency, restoring, or creating a barrier. Okay. I like that. I like that all of the continuation bits. Man, that makes your continuation combo, your Gnashing Fang continuation combo, very good. And then these are the actual ones you can cast with the junction. Nebula's reduces damage taken and delivers an attack with 3,000 every time. Oh my god, it's like Ultra Vengeance, but it only lasts 6 seconds, so I guess it's not that big. 20% damage reduction is nice, though, if a bunch of people are hitting you and don't realize it. Blasting Zone, 10,000 potency. That's going to be a very popular one, I can tell you that. And then Aurora is an instant heal and regen. Okay, all that's nice. And then their limit break. Why do I see multiple things under their limit breaks? I assume the first one triggers the second one. Relentless Rush unleashes a flurry of blade strikes on nearby enemies, dealing damage over time with a potency of 3,000. Duration only lasts... Okay, interesting. Well, duration is 4 seconds. I wonder if that just means the flurry of blades, if people are standing near you, lasts 4 seconds. I think that's all it means. It's like channeled. Activates Terminal Trigger when effect duration expires. Additional effect afflicts target with Relentless Shrapnel and oh, so if you can stun them and keep them in... Oh my goodness. Imagine getting a Gunbreaker and a Dark Knight. Gunbreaker pulls them in, binds them, and then you limit break with Relentless Rush, and then you terminal trigger them, and bam! Bam, bam, bam. All right, I'm all about it. Deliver an additional... Oh, and then terminal trigger also stuns anyway, so after that, you then stun them again with the diminishing returns, and you, oh, man. All right. I'm already saying, man, the potential Dark Knight plus Gunbreaker or Warrior combo is about to be dangerous. Oh, so dangerous. Okay, so that's all the tanks. Let's go on to the healers. All right, Glare, whatever. Cure, whatever. Cure 2 has 2 charges maximum, and they recharge every 15 seconds. So that's an interesting way to do it, but I'm okay with that. Changes to Cure 3 when under the effect of Cure 3 ready. Okay, it's one of the only times I've ever said, yeah, use Cure 3 over Cure 2. Misery, 12,000 to target all nearby allies. You can cast it once every 15 seconds, but triggers the GCD, it looks like. Aqua Veil is a barrier for 6,000 you or allies and nullifies 1 status affliction that can be removed from Purify. That's pretty nice. Barrier potency is double when successfully nullifying a status affliction. That's nice. I like the synergy there, and status afflictions are pretty common in PvP, so that's going to work pretty well. Miracle of Nature, that's the best. That is the best action. Like that's just, it's so good. It's so good. Forcibly transform. Oh, well, that explains it. Forcibly transform target into a diminutive creature. Yeah, it's wow. I don't know why I didn't think we'd get a polymorph in this game at any point. For 2 seconds, so that's really nice. Has no effect on players using guard, players riding Machina, or non-player combatants. Okay. Seraph Strike, deliver a jumping attack. Okay. So I guess, yeah, I mean, it's the PvP action, obviously, but I mean the Bojda action, clearly, but as a PvP action. It also grants Protect, which reduces damage taken by 10% for 10 seconds. Also grants Cure 3 ready, and then Cure 3 is just stronger than Cure 2. And it also looks like it doesn't have any charges, so when you have Cure 3 ready, you don't need a charge of Cure 2 ready. You can just use Cure 3. Okay, pretty interesting. Afflatus Purgation. I like the name. So we actually saw this one in the trailer. Deal unaspected damage with a potency of 18,000 to all enemies in a straight line. Yeah, we saw that animation in the trailer. It stuns for 3 seconds, then grants Temperance, which increases damage dealt and healing potency, and grants regen to self and all nearby allies. So White Mage pretty straightforward on their skills, but also quite effective. I have a feeling the other 3 healers may have something that excites me a little bit more, however. Broil, Eloquium, you know, that's all Eloquium. However, I noticed that while you are shielded, you do 10% more damage. So that's pretty nice to give to your DPSers as long as they can keep the shield for more than 2 seconds. Biolysis, damage over time. Potency is increased by 50% if you're under the effect of Recitation. Biolytic effect reduces target's damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds. So that has a 15-second cooldown. So good on, you know, to place on DPS or anyone who's bursting. Deployment tactics. Extends Galvanize or Catalyze on self. That's pretty normal. When targeting an enemy, extends Biolysis or Biolytic. Okay, see, I really like that you can use it offensively as well. And the duration stays the same. It doesn't put the duration back up to maximum. No effect when target is not under effects applied by you. Okay. Mummification deals unaspected damage with a potency of 6,000 to all enemies in a cone, and then reduces target's HP recovered by healing. Kind of a weird name for a skill that does this. I thought it was going to stun them or bind them or something, but nope. It is a HP reduction with some damage in a cone. Expedient increases movement speed, reduces damage taken, grants Recitation, which we already saw the how that worked if we go back up here to the Biolysis potency. And then what else? Increases the potency of Galvanized, Catalyzed, Biolysis. Yeah, it's just letting you know how much more the potency is increasing from using that. Consolation orders Seraph to execute Consolation. Restores, erects a barrier. Okay, so pretty much what it does now, just with a 20-second cooldown. Seraphic Veil, erects a magic barrier, so this is, you know, just single target for Seraph. And Consolation again? Okay. It's weird. Oh, you know what? Before I gotta stop scrolling up to check things before checking the limit break. Restores HP of all nearby party members, and then does that. But this looks like, I'm going to assume this is something to do with this. Let me scroll down first, because I have a feeling, yeah, that Seraph is probably the limit break. So here we go. Summon Seraph. Summon Seraph to fight at a designated location. Will execute Seraph Flight immediately after being summoned, which is the second skill there. Automatically cast Seraphic Veil on party members who suffer damage. Also grants Recitation, which does that. And then finally, Seraph Flight. Grants Seraph Flight an Excog. Oh my god. Nullifies the next status affliction that can be removed by Purify. That's very nice. Restores HP when falls below 50%. That's nice. And then you also get access to this. Okay, so I think orders Seraph to execute Consolation. And then this is Consolation. So this is the execute, and then this is the actual ability. Okay, yeah, this is the pet ability, and this is the ability telling you to execute it. Okay, okay, we figured it out. We got there. And then, yeah, okay, so again, it's not, I'm not too crazy excited, but there are some really neat tools in there. So let's check out Astro next. Fall Malefic, damage, nothing to surprise. Aspected Benefic, increases, so that potency goes up as the target's HP goes down, up to 8,000. Diurnal Benefic, which gradually restores HP. Okay, pretty normal for Aspected Benefic at this point. Gravity 2, 75% heavy is really, really nice, especially because it's AoE, but it does have a 15-second recast. Double Cast repeats the spell you previously cast. That's pretty nice, given that things like Gravity 2 count as spells and Aspected Benefic count as spells, and they have charges. And then this also has charges, so it lets you double up on certain things. So you know what? I'm down for that. And then it's also another instant as well on top of it. So yeah, you could double cast Gravity, double cast Aspected Benefic. Pretty cool. Draw the Balance, the Ewer, or the Spire from your Divining deck. I'll have to scroll down. I'm sure they work similarly to the way they work now. Actually, I don't know, because Ewer and Spire were on the same list before, so we'll see. Macrocosmos is 8,000 to all nearby enemies. Grants Macrocosmos to self and all nearby party members. Action changes to Microcosmos. 25% damage is compiled. Restores HP equal to a cure of 4,000 plus compiled damage. So it's very similar to the PvE version, just with slightly different numbers. Fall Malefic deals unaspected damage with 5,000. Reduce the recast time of double cast by 7.5. Damn. All right, that's an ability, though. That's not a spell, so worth mentioning. You can't do this and double cast that to instantly get another double cast back. Just had to make sure I was seeing that right. And then Aspected Benefic here. Oh, these are... Wait, no. Aspected Benefic. Wait, okay, I might need to scroll down for this one, because I was getting confused here when I saw it. This is a Nocturnal one. Okay, this is almost certainly Limit Break. This has to do with their Limit Break. Gravity 2. Oh, this Lightspeed is going to be their freaking... I can tell by this alone. It's this. These are either the double casted versions and they count as abilities, or the Limit Break is Lightspeed. One of the two. Deals on aspected damage, afflicts bind. Okay. Balance increases damage dealt by target and all party members nearby the target by 10%. So you actually place that. Damage dealt by target. Never mind, not damage dealt too. So yeah, that's just, it's an AoE balance. Ewer gradually restores MP. Inspire gradually fills the... Yeah, I'm going to need an Astro on every team. And they're only allowed to pull Spires and then immediately pull Balances afterwards. So that's, okay. I like it. All right, I'm all about it. And then Microcosmos, we already checked. Celestial River. So reduces damage dealt by nearby enemies by 30%. Effect reduced by 10% every 5 seconds for 15 seconds. And then increases damage dealt by self and nearby party members. Okay, so it's a massive... Enemies deal less damage, your team deals more damage. Cool. Okay, so that means that the Aspected Benefic and Gravity 2 here, these are the double casted versions. That's all that means. Okay. Astro, I'm definitely more excited about on the PvP front. So that's looking good. Dosis restores HP. So this is, yeah, Cardian effect. Phlegma, my favorite ability name. This is pretty much the same as the other ones. Although this one deals unaspected damage and all nearby allies with maximum of 2 charges. So they've got quite a bit of offense already right off the bat here. Numa, of course, deal unaspected damage. Yes, yeah, Sage definitely already fitting the kind of more offensive healer option here, which makes me think their Limit Break will be the most interesting of the batch to me. Numa also grants Haima and Heimatit. You grants Haima and 5 stacks of the buff to self and all party members within 20 yalms. And that gives you the barrier that lasts 10 seconds. When it's absorbed, a new stack is consumed and new barrier is applied. Yeah, so it does the same thing. 2,000 per remaining stack is healed at the end. Yeah, cure potency 2,000 per stack. Eucrasia upgrades Dosis 3 to Eucrasia Dosis 3. And then I'd assume that Eucrasia doses 3 is the dot. But Eucrasia has a max charge of 2 and recharge every 15 seconds. Icarus every 10 seconds can rush to a target enemy or party member location. Sits on 2 charges maximum. Toxicon increases target damage taken by 10%. Sits on 2 charges with a 15-second recast. Cardia, I mean, that works the same as PvE, it seems. At least unless there's a bonus effect here. Eucrasia is the dosis. Eucrasia dosis is the damage over time. But it also grants Eucrasian diagnosis to targets under the effect of Cardian. So whoever your Cardian partner is gets a barrier. Okay, that's actually quite good. Also, you get Adder Sting, which upgrades Toxicon to Toxicon 2, which is right here. Deals unaspected damage and to all enemies nearby with the potency. Okay, so it just makes it stronger, it looks like. It does the same thing as Toxicon, but it's 4 times the potency. Looks to be the primary thing. Increases damage taken, and then, you know, can only be afflicted under Adder Sting. Okay, and Limit Break. Mesotes. Erects magic barrier at a select location, granting party members the effect of Mesotes and afflicting enemies with the effect of Lipe. These freaking names, man. When standing inside. Mesotes negates all damage from enemies who are not under the effect of Lipe. Oh, so you can only hurt people who are... If people want to hurt you in the barrier, they have to step into the barrier. But if they step into the barrier, they take damage over time for a short duration. That's pretty cool. I really like that, especially, again, for Crystal Conflict, because it's all about point control. And a lot of Final Fantasy's PvP is very deliberately about point control. The barrier can be relocated once before its effect expires, but the effect duration will not be reset. Yes, you can even move the shield one time. I really like that. I think Astro and Sage were my favorite of the healers. But the limit break, that's a really, really cool limit break right there. And then we move on to the DPS jobs. We'll start with the melee DPS with Monk. Bootshine. All right, Bootshine, True Strike, Snap Punch. Looks to be all okay. Extends wind resonance duration. Okay, so I'm going to have to wait till I get to something that mentions what wind resonance is. Although I'd have to imagine it's attack speed or something of that capacity. Or movement speed. Something of that capacity. Dragon Kick. Combo action, Snap Punch. Wait, holy shit. Wait, what? It's 4 parts? Okay. Wait a minute. Are all 6 of their actions on? Oh my god, all 6 of their actions are 1 button. Okay, all right. That's weird. That's gonna be weird. What the fuck? It's 7 actions. It's 7. Stop. Give them something else. At least Phantom Rush. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Ishtola as a trust. Because when she goes into her, like, she has like a 13-part combo where she casts all the elements in a row and then casts them again in a row and then ends with a foul. Like, it's like all part of like one giant combo that she has. So, oh my god, 6-sided star. Is that a combo action on Phantom Rush? No, it's not, but it is a stun and it does increase movement speed. It also has a piss poor potency. What the heck? But it's instant, so it's fine. Enlightenment delivers an attack with a potency of 8,000. All enemies in a line before you. Knocks back the first target. Afflicts the first target with Pressure Point. Pressure Point then makes the next weapon skill or Meteo Drive, which I'm assuming is the limit break, used on the target deal additional damage with a potency of 8,000. Effective Pressure Point expires upon dealing additional damage. Does not share a recast. Okay, so you Enlightenment when you want to hit a target, then you gap close and you destroy them. Got it. Rising Phoenix, Fire Resonance, delivers an attack to all nearby, grants Fire Resonance, and Fire Resonance increases damage dealt by next weapon skill by 50%. Okay, that's pretty good. So you would realistically want to do this right before Phantom Rushing, because that would make it quite strong. Riddle of Earth grants Earth Resonance, changing Riddle of Earth to Earth's Reply, and Earth's Reply, and allowing you to compile damage each time you are struck. Oh, man. Executing Earth's Reply deals on aspect of damage to all nearby allies and restores your HP. Damage is 2,000 plus 25% of compiled damage. And the cure is 44,000 plus 50%. So, this is like T'Challa's upgraded Black Panther suit, essentially. Except it's not absorbing kinetic energy. It's just absorbing damage. So, I like the idea. I'm just going to jump into a group and just, bam! Just blow stuff up. I'm all about it. Thunderclap, let's see, rush to a target's location. Grants wind resonance. We can finally figure out what that does. Reduces weapon skill recast, so it is a haste. It's not a movement speed buff. If you're already under effective wind resonance, extends the duration by 5 seconds to a maximum of 15. Creates a barrier around target party member that nullifies damage. If the target selected was an enemy, it creates the barrier around yourself. Okay, I like the flexibility there. Holds up to 3 charges, 10-second recast. Cool. Earth's reply, and then that's what they showed off earlier. Okay, Meteor Drive, I was right. This is the limit break. So you can knock them back, give them that effect from earlier with Enlightenment, then rush to the target and deliver an attack with a potency of 12,000. Now, if they have the other effect, they'll take another 8,000. It removes their guard, afflicts them with Meteor Drive, rendering them unable to move. If the target does not have any guard active, then deal an additional 12,000 damage. So now we're at 32,000 damage with this, if you happen to catch them when they do not have guard. And effect cannot be applied to players riding Machina or non-player combatants. Can only be executed when limit gauge is full. Okay. And cannot be executed while bound. That's, okay. And it's got 20 Yalm range. Okay, Monk, I see you. I like you. We're off to a good start with the DPS. I feel good about that. That feels good. All right, now for Dragoon. If there was a job I expected to have a 7-part combo, it would have been you. So let's see. Raiden Thrust, Fang and Claw, Wheeling Thrust. So this is their combo here, which I'm not going to lie, that's probably the future of the job at some point. Chaotic Spring is its own separate ability. Absorbs 100% of damage dealt as HP, and of course does the initial potency damage. Shares Kogul grants Life of the Dragon, which increases damage dealt and damage suffered by 25%. Gets a Realm Reborn flashbacks. Okay, I'm scared. Please don't attack me. High Jump grants Heaven Sent for 10 seconds, which doesn't describe what it does, so we'll just keep going down. Executes a jump 15 Yalms behind you, removes Heavy and Bind, increases movement speed, grants First Mind's Focus. That's used on their new level 90 skill, so I'm assuming that's going to be the case here as well. Horde Roar, 2,000 to all nearby enemies, afflicts them with Horde Roar, and reduces damage they deal to you specifically by 50%. I like it. So considering with what Life of the Dragon does, that's going to be pretty important. Heaven's Thrust. Okay, so you need Heaven's Thrust you need Heaven Sent to use Heaven's Thrust, which does 10,000 potency. Pretty nice. Nastron delivers an attack to all enemies in front of you. You need to be under Life of the Dragon in order to use it. And it's an execute as well. So when they're below 50% HP, it does double the potency. Wormwind Thrust. The further you are away from the target, it does more damage. So backflip into Wormwind Thrust is going to be a thing, and that's what the First Mind's Focus is for. Dragoon kind of weird. I'm not a super big fan of the PvP stuff I'm seeing here, but maybe that'll change with the limit breaks. Sky High, jump high into the air, preventing enemies from targeting you. Movement is still possible before... See, I like that. That's just really, really cool flavor. Removes, Heavy Bind, Half Asleep, executes Sky Shatter automatically when effect duration expires, can only be executed when the limit gauge. See, I think that's great flavor to the jobs. I may not have been excited about the other stuff as much, but that's really cool. And then Sky Shatter is 20,000 to everything. Potency increased by 50% when targets are within 5 Yalms of the impact point. So it looks like it has a 10 Yalm hit range, but 5 Yalms is the sweet spot. Also creates a barrier absorbing damage totaling 25. The additional effect is cool, I suppose, because you are jumping into the middle of a team. But that's not as exciting. But the effect of it and the feel of it's likely to be very cool. Okay, I still like Monk the most. Keeping Monk at my number 1. Not too much of a surprise for some people. Okay. Spinning Edge. Gust Slash, Aeolian, nothing fancy there. Fuma is just, every 10 seconds you get a shuriken and it holds up to 3 charges. Nothing crazy. Action changes to Hyosho Ranryu under the effect of 3 Mudra. Okay, so I got to keep that in mind for a little bit later. Mug increases damage targets taken by 10%, so same as the PvE change essentially, but with only a 20-second cooldown instead. And reduces the recast time of Fuma Shuriken by 10 seconds. So it gives you an instant Fuma as well. So Mug's pretty useful for that. Every 20 seconds you get a bonus. 3 Mudra allows for immediate execution of any ninjutsu action. However, the same ninjutsu action cannot be executed consecutively. So you can't use 2 Hyosho Ranryus back to back. You have 2 charges, last 10 seconds, 15-second recharge rate. Action changes to Mesui while under the effect of 3 Mudra, and all actions except Seitan Tenchu will change to their respective ninjutsu actions while under the effect of 3 Mudras. Yeah, so going back up here, Mug becomes Goka Mekyaku, Fuma becomes Hyosho Ranryu, and then this becomes Mesui. We also have Bunshin, which becomes Huton, as you can see. For up to 5 attacks, your shadow becomes animate, attacking enemies each time you execute a weapon skill. Shadow attack potency will match that of your weapon skills, but will be halved for Fuma Shuriken or Assassinate. And then also creates a shadow that absorbs damage, so it gives you an 8,000 potency barrier as well. Shikuchi becomes Doton, hilariously enough. Aeolian Edge combo. Oh, and then this gives you the hidden effect. Grants hidden Blend in with your surroundings, making it impossible. So this looks like, I guess I should maybe read the rest, because we saw something that kind of looked like this in the trailer, where it looked like they teleported behind them, did a weapon skill, and then disappeared. But I have a feeling that was not this, because that made it seem like it like teleported them away somewhere. This just makes it sound like, you know, you're going to move and then disappear. Forked Raiju rushes to the target, delivers a lightning attack that also stuns. That's definitely pretty good. And then Fleeting Raiju does the same thing. Although in PvP, these are probably a little bit more useful like this. Aeolian Edge combo changes to Fleeting Raiju while under the effect of Fleeting Raiju ready. And action cannot be assigned to a hotbar. Okay. Grants Fleeting Raiju ready. This action cannot be assigned. Oh, wait. Oh, so that might be part of their limit break. All right, then I'll hold. I'll hold then. Can only be executable under the effect of Fleeting Raiju ready. Cannot be assigned to the hotbar. Okay. Hyosho Ranryu. This is just the potency 16,000. Gokamekyaku is 4,000 plus 4,000. So it's the same potency, but this is AoE and damage over time. But at least that's well, it makes sense because you can't use them both back to back, I suppose. Mesui. Well, you can't use Goka or Hyosho back to back with another Hyosho or Goka, so it makes sense. Mesui is a personal heal. Personal regen, I guess it makes sense. A defensive use for 3 mudras. Huton is a 16,000 potency barrier and increases movement speed. Okay, so a little bit more defensive on the 3 mudra use. Doton puts the patch under your feet, which good for point control, but I'm not. This isn't too exciting in my opinion. Hollow Nozuchi, all enemies standing in the corrupted earth of Doton take additional earth. Okay, well, that's, you know, a little bit different. Oh, so you want them in the Doton, and then you use 3 mudras again, and then it deals, wait, yeah, and then it'll do Hollow Nozuchi, and then once you've done Hollow Nozuchi, they also get heavied for 3 seconds as well. Okay, so you have to combo Doton with another mudra in order to activate Hollow Nozuchi and actually get the bonus effect. Okay, that's pretty nice. Assassinate, just 12,000 damage after you have the hidden effect. Okay. And now this is what I think I need to see. And some of that stuff didn't really make sense to me, how it worked together innately, because there's a lot of like interconnectivity with Ninja. Rushes to the target and delivers an attack with a potency of 10,000 and incapacitates foes. Incapacitating foes whose HP is below 50%. Wait, you just kill them instantly? Because that's what an incapacitate means. So it literally executes them if they're under 50%. Okay. Afflicts target with Deathlink for 5 seconds. Defeating an enemy with this action or one under the effect of Deathlink. Bro, it's a reset? Dude, I feel like I'm playing League. It's a reset. It literally, if you could run through a whole team in like 5 seconds with this skill. Oh my god, that's so good. That's a big favorite. That's a big favorite. That is just absolute cleanup destruction. I'm all about that. That's my new favorite amongst the melee's ninjas. Ninja's my new favorite right now. I like it. I like it. Oh man, I'm so excited. Okay, gotta calm down. Gotta talk about samurai now. Okay, basic combo. Okay, wait. Under the effect of Kaiten. Yoshi P, you really should have removed it from PvP also, because you're just gonna hurt people's feelings now. Okay, you're really gonna hurt people's feelings with this one. Okay. Hey, it didn't get deleted at least. Yukikaze or Hyosetsu. Action changes to Mengetsu. You know what? For the rest of the video, because this video is actually going to drag. Oh, no, never mind. I was going to see if I could turn on my chat window. Maybe I'll do it anyway, because I have to do this, because y'all got some hilarious reactions probably. Let me do this real quick. Oh yeah, actually I have this. Where is it? Browser source, chat. There we go. Y'all get to be present here. There we go. Much better. Okay, so Kaiten's still in PvP. That's where we're at. Halfway into the video, I realize this video will not be as short as I wanted it to be, because I'm having too much fun with this. Delivers an attack with a potency of 4,000. Combo action, Yukikaze or Hyosetsu, so either the first parts. Kasha, Gekko, or Mengetsu, because this transforms into Mengetsu and under the effect of Kaiten. Oko, all under the effect of Kaiten. Basic combo otherwise. Ogi Namikiri, 8,000. All enemies in a cone. Potency is increased to 50%. When only on a single target, so better on one target than on multiple. Well, no, more balanced around you know, whether or not you're hitting 1 or more. When you do hit 2 or more, though, you do actually get a shield. So there are benefits to both of them. Doesn't share a recast with anything else. It has 20-second recast time. Action changes to Keishi Namikiri upon execution. I'm assuming so you can do it again right away. Hisatsu Soten swiftly charges forward, dealing damage, grants Kaiten. So that's how you activate Kaiten. And then it changes all those other weapon skills. And we'll get to see what those do down below. Chiten reduces damage taken by 50%, delivers an attack each time you suffer damage for 5 seconds. Also inflicts targets with Kuzuchi, which increases the damage you deal to that target by 25%. So it's like a dueling. It's realistically, it's a dueling defensive ability. Pretty cool. It's like, it's PvP third eye, but like cooler. Mineuchi deals damage to target equals to 10% of their current HP. Ignores the effect of guard. That's actually really good for trying to finish somebody through their guard if they have a late timing on it. Deals damage to a potency. Okay, so just deals damage with a potency of 4,000 when they're riding Machina or non-player combatants. Okay. And it also stuns. It's pretty nice. Mekio grants Mekio and Madare. Mekio nullifies status afflictions that can be removed by Purify for 3 seconds. And then gives you the Madare duration for 10 seconds. Okay, so it acts like a bonus Purify. That's really nice. You have Hyosetsu, which is an AoE with a bind on it. Mengetsu is just a lot more potency. These are the effects of Kaiten. And Oka is absorbs 100% damage dealt as HP, so it's more defensive. So this is, so using it on this is utility, using it on this is damage, using it on this is a little more damage, but also more defensive properties. Madare, just big damage. Nothing else to say about that. And Keishi Namakiri looks like it does pretty much the exact same thing as the first one, just, you know, you immediately follow up afterwards. So big shields, big damage, big pain. Limit, oh my god. Zantetsuken? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Swiftly charge forward, dealing damage to target and all enemies nearby it with a potency of 24,000. If afflicted with Kuzushi, deals damage equal to 100% of their max HP. So in other words, if the samurai has a full limit break gauge and you hit them at just the wrong time while they have Chiten, you get Akuma screened, essentially. Okay. That's good. I really hope somebody makes one like a quick short of that, of just the Akuma screen popping up death. There you go. Let's see. Additional effective Kuzuchi cannot be applied to players riding a Machina. Okay. It also ignores guard when dealing damage, so it's just good all the time, regardless. Yeah, just get Raging Demon, I suppose. Okay, Samurai pretty cool. Ninja's still my favorite, though. I'm a big fan of resets in terms of gameplay. So, but Samurai looking really cool. They still have Kaiten in PvP, so that's a plus. Slice, Waxing, Slice, Infernal, Slice, basic combo. Soul Slice grants Soul Sacrifice stack up to a maximum of 8 with a 20-second recast time on this. Plentiful Harvest delivers an attack to all enemies in a straight line. Potency increases up to 20,000 based on your accumulated stacks of Immortal Sacrifice. Gained by executing Soul Slice, KOing enemies, or earning assists. Oh, that's pretty nice. So they really kind of cascade out of control. That's going to be especially good in places like Frontline and Rival Wings eventually when it comes back. Also, additional effect gradually fills your limit gauge. Oh boy. I bet the limit gauge is just demon form, but it's probably got some like other big effect. Effect can only be activated when in combat, consumes all stacks of Immortal Sacrifice, can only be executed while not under the effect of Enshrouded, which is probably what their limit break is. And does not share a recast. Also has a 1-minute cooldown. Jesus. Grim Swathe summons your avatar to do 4,000 damage in a cone. 2 stacks of Soul Reaver and applies a 75% heavy. That's really good. Flicks target with Death Warrant, causing you to compile damage you deal to that target. Oh boy. When effect duration expires, target takes 50% of compile. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. Oh man. That's Wildfire on crack is what that is right there. Grants Soul So as well, so it grants an additional effect, and that's every 20 seconds that you're going to be doing that. Hell's Ingress, quickly dash forward 15 yalms, leaves behind a Hellgate that you can, and grants Threshold. Additional effect increases movement speed. Okay, and the Threshold probably just lets you teleport back. It's probably the egress equivalent. Arcane Crest gets you an 8,000 potency barrier, increases damage dealt by 10%. And when the barrier is completely absorbed, then you give the regen to everyone nearby for 2 ticks. Okay. Gibbet deals an attack 8,000. Grants gallows oiled. Oh boy, don't want to oil the gallows. Infernal Slice changes the gallows while under the effect of gallows oiled and Soul Reaver. Okay, that makes sense. And then this, it'll do probably the reverse for the other one. And then gallows can only be executed. So yeah, this is just a combo now, it looks like, that you'll want to do. Action cannot be assigned to the hotbar. Requires Soul Reavers. Yeah, so you do Soul Reaver, Gibbet, Gallows. It's just always the order that you'll be doing them. Void Reaping, only usable when enshrouded, and grants Ripe for Reaping. Weapon skills not share recast, and then Infernal Slice changes the Cross Reaping while under the effect of Ripe for Reaping, and Cross Reaping is the very next skill. So yeah, it's just another combo. It's like Gibbet and Gallows, but again, it's for enshrouded, essentially. Lemire Slice binds, just a 15-second instant, cooldown instant with a bind and 4,000. It's also an AoE, it's a cone. And also only usable when enshrouded, makes sense, given, Lemire Slice, that's how it normally works. Harvest Moon deals unaspected damage with a potency of 4,000 to target all enemies nearby it. Potency increases up to 8,000, so it's an execute. Absorbs 100% as damage dealt as HP, so it also heals. And can only be used with the effect of Soulso, which we saw was triggered from one of the other skills earlier. There's a lot going on here on Reaper. Regress, move instantly to the Hell's Gate left behind. Yeah, that's what we mentioned earlier. And Communio, only when enshrouded, deals unaspected damage with a potency of 16,000 and all enemies nearby it, and consumes all stacks of enshrouded upon execution. Tenebrae Lemurum offers your flesh as a vessel to your avatar, gaining 5 stacks of enshrouded. Afflicts nearby enemies with hysteria as well. That's just going to make them run around. So when you transform, they get feared briefly, essentially. And the enshrouded lasts 15 seconds or until you execute Communio or use all of the enshrouded actions. So it plays very similarly to their PvE. Once you're actually in the enshroud, you're just going to be doing Void Reaping, Cross Reaping, Void Reaping, Cross Reaping, enshrouded. And then, this doesn't say it eats... Well, yeah, it says it can only be... Oh, yeah, this has 15 seconds. So you can use one Lemire Slice as well while you're enshrouded. Okay. Just wanted to check that. Yes, they've got a lot of just piling on the paint. The fact that Plentiful Harvest once a minute also gradually fills your limit gauge. Oh man, it's like every minute you're going to be trying to build up to your accumulated stacks of Immortal Sacrifice. Like you just want to get as many KOs, assists, or Soul Slice uses. Minimum you'll get 3 if you just get the 3 uses of this. But man, you're going to have to be on top of that because getting enshrouded is going to be a pretty big deal for PvP. Oh boy, that's they're just gonna be limit breaking non-frickin' stop. All right, moving on to the physical ranged DPS. Let's see this powerful shot, already a brand new skill. Potency increases the further you are away, so that's going to be important. Reduces the recast time of Imperial Arrow by 5 seconds, so that's your basic GCD. So that's like every time it just reduces Imperial Arrow recast. Requires casting time to execute, however it is possible to walk while casting. We have the technology. We have the technology to actually move while shooting, while casting in this game now. No slide cast, that's just how the walking. It's only walking, but it is still moving at the very least. Action changes to pitch perfect while under the effect of repertoire. Okay, Apex Arrow every 20 seconds. 6,000 potency to all enemies in a straight line before you. Grants Blast Arrow ready. Also grants Frontliners March. Frontliners March reduces your weapon skill cast time and recast time. Increases your damage dealt by self and all party members within the radius for 30 seconds. Okay, so that is a 20-second recast. That lasts 30 seconds, so there clearly has to be something with Blast Arrow that makes it so I can't just have this up 100% of the time. Does not share a recast with other actions. Yeah, I figured as much. Silent Nocturne deal unaspected damage with a potency of 2,000. It silences and it grants Repertoire, which we already know. Repertoire allows you to use Pitch Perfect with the other skill. Imperial Arrow, 15-second, instant ability, ranged attack. Consumes all charges, each charge adding an additional stack. So you want to stack that up to 3 and use it for burst, ideally, unless you can otherwise ensure that the 3,000 damage base is going to be good enough. But every time you use, Powerful Shot, it's going to reduce the cooldown and charge that up a lot quicker. Repelling Shot deals damage in PvP. Still has a knockback, but also has a bind. I think it's been that way for quite some time in PvP. Warden's Peen. Now in PvP, something like this, a lot more useful. Removes 1 status affliction from self or target party member. That can be removed by Purify. If it cannot be removed, it creates a barrier that will do it when you get it for the next 10 seconds. Grants Warden's Grace upon successfully removing or nullifying a status affliction, which reduces damage taken by 20% while increasing HP recovered by healing actions by 20%. Also grants a stack of repertoire. Powerful shot changes to pitch perfect while under the effect of repertoire. I know. Pitch perfect deals, more potency and then doubles, the potency doubles the further away you are, and still reduce the recast, because it is just essentially a stronger version of powerful shot. And blast arrow, 8,000 to all enemies in a straight line before. No, so I guess Frontliner's Fort is really just what you want all the time, because both blast arrow and apex arrow can use it. So they are largely burst tools, but you do want that Frontliner's Fort up pretty much 100% of the time. So because it is your only essential song on this list. So, okay, that's good, because it seems like that's really, really good right off the bat. I'm really curious to see what the other range physical even do. Final Fantasia. I like it. People who buy too many Fantasias will never have a Final Fantasia because they just can't help themselves. Grants Final Fantasia to self and Heroes Fantasia to nearby party members. Final Fantasia on yourself reduces your cast and recast time by 10% while increasing movement speed, which inherently makes Powerful Shot and Imperial Shot or Imperial Arrow better. I guess really just Powerful Shot, because that's the one where you have the cast time, not Imperial Arrow. So that just means that your movement speed is going to be higher while you're actually moving and casting that. Heroes Fantasia increases damage up by 5%. I like that. I like that. Fill them limit gauges. Dude, imagine a Reaper just constantly enshrouding with a Bard in the party. Oh my goodness. And yeah, okay, so that's really good. Really, really good. So let's move on to Machinist Bard up there, because there's a lot of really good effects there. I'm hoping to see Machinist just blast. I mean, not just blast charge, but really just blast stuff out of the water. Delivers a range attack with a potency of 4,000, grants a stack of heat up to a maximum of 5. At maximum, stacks becomes overheated. That requires casting time to execute, but it's possible to walk. Okay, as it says over there, 1.44 second cast time. We need to see what overheated. Okay, so action changes to heat blast while under the effect of overheated. Okay, so it probably then expends all 5 heat blasts with the reduced cooldown and the instant cast. Okay, that makes sense. So every 5 blast charges, you'll then instantly get 5 of that. But I'm sure there's other things here that give you heat as well. Scattergun is AoE, strikes twice when hitting only a single target, so it does 8,000 when only on a single target, but it also has a knockback, so it's really for just getting people away from you. Weapon skill does not share recast time, and only a 20-second recast time. Drill, big potency, and if they are under analysis, it doubles to 18,000. Ignores guard! That's what I wanted to see. Grants Bioblaster primed and holds up to 2 charges with a 10-second recast. But you also need Drill primed in order to use it, which we haven't seen yet on the list. So let's scroll down until we see where Drill primed comes from. Wildfire deals damage to target and all enemies nearby when the time expires. Potency is increased by 4,000 for each one of your own weapon skills you land prior to the end of the effect. Yeah, so I mean, you'll want to save that until you have all your heat maxed out. Landing 3 weapon skills causes it to detonate immediately. See, I want that for the PvE version as well. For it to, in PvE, I want an extended duration, and I want it to automatically blow up after a certain number of weapon skills. It's doing that in PvP, so maybe one day a change like that will similarly make it to PvE as well. As something as like a ping deterrent of some kind. Bishop auto turret deploys an area of effect battle turret, which will deliver auto attacks. Okay, increases damages target's damage taken by 10%. That's like really old hypercharge is the big thing. And then also creates a barrier that absorbs damage equal to a heal of 2,000. Okay, so it's got some offensive, some defensive properties, really for afflicting people with the damage taken increase. Analysis grants an additional effects to Drill, Bioblaster, Air Anchor, and Chainsaw while these weapon skills are executed for 10 seconds. Drill, potency is increased by 200%. Yeah, we saw that. It goes up to 18,000. Bioblaster gets a 75% heavy. Really good if you've got everyone grouped up. Air Anchor, potency increased by 50%, and the bind becomes a stun, so we've got a little bit of both. And then Chainsaw, 5% chance to deal damage. Oh, you have a 5% chance to... Yo, dude, I like gacha. I'm all about the gacha. Yeah, that's literally what I mean, specifically for Chainsaw, that's what Final Fantasy VI, what it does in Final Fantasy VI. It has a chance to instant kill. Yo, I like to gamble my my PvP matches. I'm ready for the gamba. Heat Blast, this is, once you have 5 overheated, then it becomes Heat Blast. Yeah, that makes sense. Bioblaster delivers an attack with a potency of 4,000, and then, yeah, we know with analysis it does that. Bioblaster also deals damage over time, grants Air Anchor primed. I still haven't seen what grants Drill primed, because I see all these Ether Mortar. Oh, maybe you can only do it under... No, that's not that. Where was Drill Primed coming from then? Drill Primed. Only under the effect of Drill Primed. Oh, Chainsaw grants it. So they loop around, essentially. Okay. I don't know how I missed that. Well, it's because I was scrolling through. I do know how I missed it. So Bioblaster grants Air Anchor Primed and deals damage over time. And then Air Anchor has the bind, which becomes the stun with Analysis and grants Chainsaw Primed. And then Chainsaw Primed has the... Okay. So, delivers an attack with a potency of 10,000. Additional effect, 3% chance to deal... Why does it say 3% here? But it said 5% in the other one. Make up your mind. So, I'm assuming they got a... I don't know which one is real. The 5% I'd like to assume is the correct one here. But that's just 10,000 in a straight line. So, that's just big damage on multiple targets. 3% chance to all under the effect... No. No, 3% chance to deal damage equal to 100% of target's HP while under the effect of Analysis, which means that the 3% is, yeah, that's just a typo. That's all that is. One of the two is a typo, is all that is. So it pretty clearly states as much. Ether Mortar delivers unaspected damage with a potency of 4,000 to all nearby enemies, increases damage taken by 10%, creates a barrier. Okay, Ether Mortar is the bishop's attack. Okay, that's all that is. Limit Break, just 36,000 damage on a target. That's it. That's all. It's literally. I mean, I'm down. That's big. That's big. Big damn. Big damn. Big damn. Dead team. Big damn. I cannot wait to see how many people just get picked off by Big Damn. Well, Machinist is pretty good too. I think I still like Bard a little better because I like the team play, but Machinist more the hard carry, I feel. And then Dancer, Cascade, and then they're gonna have all these transformation effects and everything. Cascade, Fountain, combo action with Cascade or Reverse Cascade. Starfall Dance is 20 seconds, 8,000 straight line, reduces. Oh, so they have. Oh, this is only with your dance partner. So they have the same effect as the Bard does, but only with your dance partner. Spellcast time and recast time for self and party member designated as your dance partner for 10 seconds. It also only lasts 10 seconds. It's not meant to be like permanently upkept like the Bard one is. Honing Dance, unleash a flurry of chakram strikes on nearby targets, dealing damage over time with a potency of 2,000 for 3 seconds. So this is like a channeled skill again. Execute Honing Ovation when the duration expires, which grants additional effect. Grant a stack of Acclaim up to a maximum of 4. Acclaim effect increases damage and effect potency of Honing Ovation for 5 seconds. Oh my god, there's so many things here on Dancer. Can be executed while moving. Okay, that's nice. You can move while doing this. That's actually a really nice little detail here to have. Weapon skill does not share recast time with any other actions. Fan Dance, deliver an attack with a potency of 4,000 to all enemies in a cone before you. Reduces damage taken by self and party members designated as your dance partner by 10%. Again, just buffing that one person up. This is going to be restores HP in all nearby party members, and then your dance partner will also do the same. That's expected. En Avant is, the 10 Yalm dash. Grants additional effect, grants En Avant. Okay, for 10 seconds. I'm going to assume that just lets you do a double take immediately. I'm going to just keep reading, but I'd assume that lets you just do a double. Close position grants, that's dance partner. That's just choosing your dance partner. Reverse Cascade, additional effect grants Blade Catcher. So this is, when you're under, you can be under the effect of Reverse Cascade. So let me, hold on. We got to go back up. There's so many words here. Changes to, oh no, okay, I see. Action changes to Reverse Cascade while under the effect of En Avant. So En Avant is not just movement, it's also offense. So when you En Avant, you'll then have access to Reverse Cascade, which then grants Blade Catcher, which, if already under the effect of Blade Catcher, effect changes to Flourishing Saber Dance. Bro, there's so many things stacking on top of here. So many things. Fountain combo changes to Saber Dance while under the effect of Flourishing Saber Dance. So you need to be En Avanted to get Blade Catcher, but if you get a second Blade Catcher, you get Flourishing Saber Dance. Okay, got it. And then this one, combo off of that also grants Blade Catcher, also requires En Avant. So you'd want to combo En Avant combo in order to get Flourishing Saber Dance, I think. And okay, that's the same. Saber Dance, deliver an attack with a potency of 8,000 to all enemies nearby. Potency is increased by 50% on a single target, increases damage dealt by self and party members that's designated as your dance partner by 5%. So just 5% damage buff. It's the equivalent of your standard step. And can only be executed under the effect of Flourishing Saber Dance. Yeah, so it's about the double En Avant. That's why it has 4 charges. That's why it only has the 10-second recast time. Okay. All right. Anyway, Honing Ovation. Delivers an attack to nearby enemies and erects a magic barrier. So this is improv, but offensive improv, I see. Potency of both the attack and barrier values with the stacks of acclaim accumulated at the time of execution. Potency of both the attack and barrier doubles when targets are within 5 yalms. So if the closer they are, the more it does. 0 stacks, 1,000, then 2, 3, 4, 5, up to the 4 stacks, and then a barrier equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The barrier is equal to the same thing. Honing Dance effect expires upon execution. That's a lot going on. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of things that's happening there. There's this, that. There's a lot of interactions, a lot of stacking, a lot of dashing around for en avant. That's going to be the most important thing. But also, we have Contra Dance. Charms. Oh, yeah, we saw this in the trailer. Charms nearby enemies for 2 seconds. Damage you deal to charged enemies will extend the duration. This effect can only be extended once. So you can charm them up to 4 seconds. So you really do want to charm as many and then hit them with an AoE. So that way they stay charmed for an extra 2 seconds. That's going to be really good with Dark Knight. Every time I keep seeing stuff that Dark Knight's going to work really good with. But that's going to be, and it also, yeah, and they can't get out of this because Charm isn't on the Purify list, yeah. So, Dancer, pretty solid. Range physical across the board, pretty solid. I might try Machinist. I think I might, right now I'm looking at doing either Warrior or Dark Knight and Machinist. Those are the two I'm really, really looking to play. As much as the melee skills were really cool, I think those are the ones I'm looking at the most. Now for PvP, for Black Mage. Fire does, 3,000, requires no cast time when under the effect of Umbral Ice. That's fine. Afflicts target with a stack of Astral Warmth up to a maximum of 3. Effect cannot be stacked with Umbral Freeze. Additional effect grants Astral Fire 2, which I'd assume is just the damage buff. Effect cannot be stacked with Umbral Ice. Action changes to Fire 4. Oh, no. So when you get Astral Fire 2, you get Fire 4. Okay, that makes sense. Blizzard deals ice damage with a potency of 3,000. Same as the Fire. Can't help but notice. So requires no cast time when under the effect of Astral Fire. So you want to swap between them because you get the instant casts a lot more frequently. Flick stack with Umbral Freeze, which cannot be stacked with Astral Warmth. Yeah, we need to get down to what those do, which is probably Fire 4 and Blizzard 4 probably have descriptors for that. Additional effect grants Umbral Ice 2, and then that lets you cast Blizzard 4. Okay, that I get that. Burst, lightning damage to all nearby party members, to all nearby enemies, not party members. With a potency of 12,000, creates a barrier around self that absorbs damage equal to 12,000. Okay. Paradox deals unaspected damage with a potency of 8,000. Increases target stack of Astral Warmth or Umbral Freeze to a maximum. Okay, like that. It's only on a 15-second recast also. Nightwing, that's half asleep. Yeah, and then after a few seconds, they become asleep. Yeah, I figured as much. Target struck while under the effect of sleep will take additional damage. Oh, I actually really like that. I didn't think they were going to do it that way. I like it. Ethereal Manipulation, rush to the target enemies or party member's location, grants swift cast. Next spell will be cast instantly. Okay, only 10-second recast on that, so a lot of instant casting here for Black Mage. Really like it. Super Flare deals damage to nearby enemies with potency of 3,000 up to 9,000 for every stack of Astral Warmth or Umbral Freeze they have accumulated. Additional effect, enemies under the effect of Astral Warmth are afflicted with burns, dealing damage over time, so it's 6,000 potency over 6 seconds. Duration increases by 3 seconds for each additional stack of Warmth up to a maximum of 12. That's much better. For Umbral Freeze, so many words here, they will become unable to move for at least 1 second, and then it goes up to 3 seconds for the Umbral Freeze charges. Not as exciting, but 3 seconds of not being able to move can be pretty good. And then Fire 4 here is just double the potency. Otherwise, it looks like it has mostly the same things. The big thing is, okay, so Fire and Blizzard are combos. It goes Fire, Fire 4, Flare, Blizzard, Blizzard 4, Freeze is what I'm noticing here. So that's, and then you would swap probably to, you'd either, well, what's the cooldown on Super Flare? Super Flare is 15 seconds. Okay, yeah, you would probably want to expend Super Flare before swapping if you otherwise can. And then Flare is, 6,000 to the target and all nearby, and then flicks target with Astral Warmth up to a maximum of 3, yeah. Okay, so all that seems pretty straightforward. Blizzard 4 grants Freeze, yeah, so I was right about that. And then Foul Deal on Aspect of Target, and then you need Polyglot for that. So I didn't actually see Polyglot mentioned, so I was going to say it probably comes from their Limit Break. So Soul Resonance, 6 stacks of Soul Resonance, upgrading Fire to Flare and Blizzard to Freeze. Flare and Freeze require no cast time for 30 seconds, and you get a Polyglot. So you get 6 instant cast Flares or Freezes. You get a Foul, which is also instant, and then reduces the recast time of Super Flare by 15 seconds. So you're going to All right. So you're just gonna. All right. That's insane. All right. Yeah. So you okay? All right. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of flaring. That means that you can choose to bind people on demand. You can choose to burst and burn people on demand. You can do massive damage with foul on command. And then you just oh man, you just tripled this. Oh man. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh man. That sounds like that's going to be a lot of fun. Ruin 3. Oh god. All right. Summoner. Ruin 3. Action changes to Astral Impulse. Action changes to Fountain of Fire, depending on Dreadworm or Firebird. Okay. Crimson Cyclone rushes forward to deal the target. That's, that's the Ifrit dash. Cannot be executed while bound. Does not share a recast. So 15-second gap closer on that. And then changes to Crimson Strike, which is the same as their PvE equivalent. The interaction is the same. Slipstream, 6,000 damage to the target, all nearby enemies. Creates a windstorm, dealing damage to anyone who enters it. Enemies standing within 5 yalms of the storm's eye take no damage. Oh, so if they stand in the dead center of it, they don't take any damage. But that means they're also stuck in the dead center. So they have to choose to brave the storm if they realistically want to get out of it. Okay, I like that. That's actually just a really cool way of doing it. You're just gonna drop that wherever. If you ever hit like a stalemate, you're just gonna drop that in the middle of a giant area. Radiant Aegis creates a barrier around self or target party member that reduces damage taken and absorbs damage. Okay, last 10 seconds, 20-second cooldown. I like it. Mountain Buster deals earth damage with a potency of 2,000 to target all nearby enemies. Afflicts the first target with bind and all remaining targets with heavy for 3 seconds. Also draws remaining targets in towards the first target. That's really cool. That's a great ability to have every 15 seconds. Holy moly. Fester, deal unaspected damage. Potency increases as target. So it's an execute in PvP. Okay, 2 charges, 15-second recast. Astral Impulse is just replacing Ruin 3. When you're under the effect, Fountain of Fire is the same. So these are just Ruin 3 transformations. Notice Fountain of Fire is significantly weaker than Astral Impulse, and I'm sure that's for good reason. Crimson Strike is the follow-up to the Crimson Cyclone, and then has a 5-yalm knockback from the first target. So, all right, I like that. You can dash to them, and then you can also knock them away. Enkindle Bahamut. So this is a Lee Sin Q followed by, you walk behind them, and then you just knock them back into your team. Not that big of it's only 5 yalms, so it's not that big a deal. But that's what comes to mind when I see it. Enkindle Bahamut orders Demi Bahamut to execute Akmorn. Akmorn effect deals unaspected damage to the potency of 12,000. Okay. Wyrm Wave, that's probably just Bahamut auto-attacking, if I had to guess. Akmorn, that's the Enkindle Bahamut, so, we just went over that. Enkindle Phoenix orders Demi Phoenix to execute Revelation, deals unaspected damage with a potency of 3,000 to target all enemies nearby, and then burns them. Yeah, that's why the basic attack is weaker, because they also have the dot burn here. Scarlet Flame, 4,000 damage, reduces target's damage dealt by 50%. I liked that. I like that a lot. Did Wyrm Wave do anything fancy? No? Okay, so Phoenix is juiced. Got it. And then Revelation we just went over. So for the limit break, it has to be Summon Bahamut. Yeah, okay. So I was going to say, we didn't see anything with Bahamut or Phoenix being summoned, so those had to be the limit breaks. So limit break, they have 4 limit breaks. Okay, I guess that's fine. Summon Bahamut is the first one, lasts 20 seconds, executes Mega Flare upon being summoned, and then Wyrm Wave automatically after, prioritizing targets with the lowest HP. Bahamut, I like the way you think. Can only be executed when the limit gauge is full. Action changes to Enkindle Bahamut upon execution. Ruin 3 changes to Astral Impulse and Dreadworm Trance. Okay. Mega Flare, 18,000 damage to all enemies. I like it. Summon Phoenix, enter Firebird Trance. So it looks like you have to choose. So this doesn't transform into that. It looks like you have to choose between 2 limit breaks here for any particular reason. Summon Phoenix enters Firebird Trance and summons Demi Phoenix to fight a designated location. Demi Phoenix will execute Everlasting Flight upon being summoned, then execute Scarlet Flame automatically, prioritizing the closest target. As a reminder, Scarlet Flame reduces the target's damage dealt by 50%. So she'll just slap people with damage reductions the entire time. Prioritizing closest target can only be executed when the limit gauge is full, and then we know it also does the other skill transformations as well. So less overall damage, but more overall utility, because then you also get Everlasting Flight, which is, of course, going to grant you the heal over time that we're used to it doing. But it also grants you, restores HP when HP falls below 25% for 12,000. So it grants you the other effect that we have in Kindle Phoenix in PvE content. Okay. So Summoner really cool. I really like the interactions. I think it has some great crowd control. But whether it be the slipstream keeping them in place or discouraging them from being in a zone, or Mountain Buster pulling them together, it has knockbacks. It's got, you know, utility versus damage. It's got a lot of flexibility. Big fan of Summoner for PvP. And then Verstone. Okay, so now we've got Red Mage, which I'm sure is going to confuse the heck out of me. This is the last job on the list. Verstone grants dual casts. That's normal. Action changes to Ver Arrow when under dual cast. That's to make sure that it's just a one-button combo. Ver Fire when under Black Shift. And Ver Thunder 3 when under the effect of Black Shift and dual cast. Oh boy. Black Shift's probably the limit break. Enchanted Riposte deals unaspected damage with a potency of 6,000. White Shift effect creates a barrier around self that absorbs damage. So, okay. And then if you're under Black Shift, it does more damage. So White Shift is more restorative and supporting properties, and Black Shift is more offensive properties. Okay. And then it'll transform as it goes. Changes to Enchanted Zorhao. Resolution. Deal unaspected damage with a potency of 8,000 to all enemies in a straight line before you. White Shift silences. Black Shift binds. Different crowd controls here on Resolution. And that's every 20 seconds as well. Magic Barrier reduces damage taken by self or nearby party members. Increases HP. So that's just like the PvE version. But requires White Shift and shares a cooldown with Frazzle. The action changes to Frazzle when under the effect of Black Shift. Okay, so this is when you're under White Shift, you get this. When you're under Black Shift, you get the other one. They're the same thing otherwise. They're the same button, though, otherwise. Core, Gap Closer, afflicts with Monomachy. Jesus. Increases damage dealt to target by 10% while lowering damage taken from target. Okay, so it's basically like locking in one target and saying, I'm going to be better than you for the next 7 seconds. Holds 2 charges, 15-second recast. Okay. Displacement, backstep with a 4,000 potency, grants manification, increases damage of next spell cast by 20%. Cool, 15-second. Doesn't seem to share, so those are both separate, displacement and core, which is good to hear. Hi, Ivy. You want to read the rest of the patch notes with me? Hey, come here. Let's read the rest of the patch notes. Come here. All right, there you go. Displacement. Okay, so we already read displacement. We've got. Okay, so here's Black Shift. You can just, so you would just choose. It's not even like proct or anything like that. So you choose whether you want to be in Black Shift or White Shift. Altering the effects of several actions can only be executed while under the effect of White Shift. Yeah, obviously. And then it changes to White Shift, so that way it's only one button. That makes a whole lot of sense. Ivy, no desk. No desk. Ivy, no desk. Got it? No desk. Okay, so that's good. I thought it was going to be something more directly tied to the limit break. The limit break might just let you have both effects. That would be pretty dope. For Arrow 3, deals damage with a potency of 5,000. That's just, White Shift and dual cast. Under the effect of White Shift and dual cast, okay. Ver Holy, deal unaspected damage, 8,000 all nearby targets. Restores own HP and restores HP of nearby party members. Requires White Shift and Vermilion Radiance. Vermilion Radiance, probably the limit break. Then we get down to Verfire, their other spell. This is their Black Shift side of everything. Can only be executed while under the effect of Black Shift. So this would replace Ver Arrow, Verstone, and all that on your bar when you're actually in Black Shift. So it's just your whole hotbar transforms essentially when you change between White Shift and Black Shift. Ver Thunder 3, yeah, I mean that's deals lightning damage with potency. It needs Black Shift and dual cast. I said that earlier. Let's see. Ver Flare, 12,000 and all nearby enemies. Requires Black Shift and Vermilion Radiance. So that's just more damage. So Black Shift, more damage. Again, White Shift, more support and utility for the most part. Enchanted Zorhao. This is just a follow-up for your melee combo. Creates a barrier around yourself and also deals damage over time. That's really nice. And then that becomes Enchanted Redoublement, which grants Vermilion Radiance. Never mind. So it's not part of the do with their limit break. It's part of their melee combo, which I suppose makes more sense given Ver Flare and Ver Holy are normally after your melee combo. And also damage over time and a barrier from this as well. And you have Frazzle, which is the transformed version of Magic Barrier. Increases damage taken by near... So this makes them take more damage and reduces their healing. Yeah, Black Shift is definitely going to be a lot more popular, I can already tell you, for Red Mage. Pretty cool concept, though. Instead of focusing on the mana balancing, because I know they mentioned like job gauges not really being a thing in PvP, they're instead giving them this entire like dual play style that they can swap between when the when they're able to do it. And the final limit break, Southern Cross, emblazons a grand cross on the ground beneath a party member or enemy, restoring HP of party members within range while damaging enemies. Cure potency 6,000, damage potency 6,000. If you're in white shift, the cure is doubled. If you're in black shift, the damage is doubled. Target standing in the cross's center will receive the effects of this action twice, and it requires your limit gauge to be full. That's gonna, I gotta see the animation for that, because that probably looks dope. Yeah, it means you can do up to 24,000 healing or up to 24,000 damage in the center. And then, of course, like I said, it branches out to the other sides for less. Oh, boy. That was a lot to take in. A lot of the effects and a lot of the design, though, sounds really, really cool. And from people telling me, this is a lot different than what it was at the beginning of Endwalker, which, to be honest, I didn't really pay attention much to PvP at the start of Endwalker. So... oh, man. Yeah, along with the other changes, I'm looking forward to hopping in. There's at least a handful of jobs I'd like to try in PvP when the servers come up, although I'll definitely be focusing on the PvE stuff first. So, well, yeah, all really unique, all really interesting, and hopefully, again, I think they really want to revitalize the interest in PvP in Final Fantasy XIV and 6.1. I think this is all part of the plan. Give it a lot of flavor, give it better rewards, give it a better mode, give it faster modes, give it lower man mode. Just keep pushing forward. Dev team, I think you're on the right track. I hope you're on the right track. Just keep it steady, all right? Just we can do that. We can do this. We can do this. All right? That's it. But anyway, that's going to be it for the PvP changes coming in terms of the job actions and whatnot after like an hour and a fucking half of reading through this. So I'm going to get this uploaded to the YubTub. And yeah, thanks for watching. Be on the lookout for all my 6.1 content coming. Once 6.1 is out, we'll have first clears, guides, all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to it as much as I am. With that, I'm going to get back to my Twitch live stream, who have been patiently waiting for me, as you can see from the chat that's spamming on the screen. And YouTube, enjoy. I'll see you all in the next one. And until then,